Hi, I'm Cheryl, and today we're going to be making this really cute trifold card. So on the front it says, "To someone who makes others so happy," and then you open it and it says, "Happy birthday wishes," and then you open it again and it says, "Thanks for being you." So let's get started working on our card. We need 3 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, and these are each 3.5 by 3.25. And yes, I marked the top with a little X in pencil because 3.5 and 3.25 look awful alike, and I want to make sure I have the right side, or the right side facing up. Then we have 3 pieces of Pear Pizzaz. And these are 3.75 by 3.5. Then I have a piece of Peekaboo Peach, and this is cut the long way on from a piece of cardstock of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, so it's 4.25 by 11 inches long. And then I have it scored already. Yeah, I guess you can see those score lines. And it's scored at 2 3/4 inches from each end. So in from this end, 2 3/4, in from this end, 2 3/4. And we're going to be folding this. Let's do that first before I even get any further. We'll fold that in one side and we'll fold that in on the other side, and you're going to make sure that your pieces meet exactly in the middle and that they're lined up perfectly on the sides. And then make your crease. Okay, and I'm going to actually grab a bone folder if I can put my hands on it quick. Yep, there it is. And I'll give that a really good crease. Okay, so we can put this aside for the moment. The inks we're using are Pear Pizzaz, Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, and Peekaboo Peach. And we'll need some Tombow also. So we can get right into the card. Oh, and I have an eraser, and I have a little bit of paper towel. You'll need those also. The eraser is just to erase my X at the top of the page when I'm finished stamping. So let's do the peach first. Now I'm going to just stamp randomly all around the outside. I'm going to take a block. I'm going to hold that down so that my pages stay together exactly in the middle here. Remember, I just told you that a few minutes ago. And we're going to use, oh, I didn't tell you what stamps we're using. Oh my gosh. We're using the Avant Garden stamp set. That's the only stamp set we're using. There's the happy birthday. That's to someone who makes others so happy. Thanks for being you. We're going to use the leaf. We're going to use the little flower center. And we're going to use the watercolory flower. So we're using a lot of this stamp set. So I already have my flower mounted here, and I'm just going to stamp all over, and it's okay to overlap. As a matter of fact, we want them to overlap. We just want that filled in real good, real well, I should say. That would be better English, wouldn't it? All around the outside. Of the card. And be sure to turn your stamp as you're doing this. And just overlap that center section. let's see. I'll put a couple more here. We don't need to do the very center of this card because we'll have our little squares with the flowers and the sentiments on it. Get that another stamp. Okay. So we have the very front of the card done. And now we're going to do the inside of the card. And I'm just going to take a couple pieces of scrap paper here. I'm going to mask this off. And just stick that down on my table. Lining that up with the creases. And we don't need that little block anymore. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to stamp randomly all over, all around the outside of this card. You can go off the paper, that's fine. And stamp over. That's good too. So we're kind of creating our own little our own little designer paper background here. And we know it's going to match because we're using Peekaboo Peach. And we'll be using that to stamp on our card too. Or on our little panels. Okay. So we've got that done. Let me grab a baby wipe. Clean my table up. We don't want that to get places we don't want it. And we've got our Peekaboo Peach out. So next we'll stamp our 3 cards. Okay, so I'm going to bring this out as a little guide. Oh, let me get that out. And let's see. I put one about here. I put one about here, facing in. Each of these are different. I don't know if you noticed that when I was flipping through them. And we'll put one there. Alright, now let's open this up. And we'll do the second panel. I have one, oops, got turned around. There we go. I have one like this. I have one kind of straight up and downish there. And I have one just kind of facing off a little bit to the top left corner. And we'll flip this again. So we're on our center card. Our last set here. And I put one there. Pretty much in the center bottom. And I just have these 2 facing inward on each side. Okay. So that's it for our Peekaboo Peach. Let's move on to our Calypso Coral. Now I need to bring my cards back in here. And we'll close this back up and start over. Oop. So let's bring this in. And we're going, this is where it gets fancy, folks. Okay, that's cleaned off, all the Peekaboo Peaches off of there. I'm just going to stamp it a couple times, make sure it's dry. Okay, now I'm using the Calypso Coral now. And I ink that up. And I'm going to take my paper towel. I'm going to wipe the middle off. So there'll still be Calypso Coral ink on the tips of the flower. but I've wiped off all of it from the center, or most of it. Okay, so there's our first one, and I need to line it up and stamp. And there we go. Move on to our next one. Each one of these has one flower done like this. If you wanted to do more, that would be cool. I only wanted just the one, just a little accent on it. And there we go. Now, and if you don't like to do this, I mean, because this can be a little nerve-wracking trying to line stamps up, even though these are polymers, and that's what it's made for. Or that's what's nice about the polymers anyway. I don't know if that's why they're made that way, but you could use, if you have a stamp positioner like a Mini Misty or one of the other ones that have come out now, this would be a good time to use that. Then you're sure your stamp is aligned perfectly. And there we go. But quite frankly, on these watercolory looking effect cards, I'm not too concerned about whether I get it perfect or not. Alright, so let's do some leaves now. And we can just kind of fill in wherever. I got my little leaf stamp. And I do need a piece of paper because I'm going to stamp off part of my stamp, of my green. So I'll ink that up. And then I'm just gonna kind of roll on one side of it. Okay, so you see I've stamped just part of that leaf off. And now, let's see, well, I'm on this one, so I'll use my original as a guide. And just one leaf there. And I'll stamp off a little bit. And I have another leaf coming here. And let's see, I had one coming out here. And this little guy on the side here, he got two of them also. Okay, so there's that one. That's my very center. What would be the third one. So now we'll go on to the one that's in the middle section. And just keep doing this. And off there. I just think this makes the leaves a little more interesting. To stamp them off a little bit. Okay. And now we'll do the one that's going to be on the very front. So each of these cards is going to come out a little bit different. It just depends on how much of the green on the leaves you've stamped off. Let's see, I'll put that one there. And how much of the Calypso coral you've wiped away. So that's it for, oh no, we have the centers to do yet. Where's that little center one? Uh-oh. Don't tell me I lost the little center one. Oh, there it is. I found it. I found it. That had to share the stamp pad with the leaf. Okay, we're going to stamp the centers then in the in Early Espresso. And we also stamp the sentiments in Early Espresso. So, we just give each of our flowers a little center. And there we go, last one. And now we can do our sentiments. And let's see, I have these two already on a block and lined up, so we'll do those first. Happy birthday wishes, that goes on the one that goes on the front. And that's this one. To someone who makes others so happy, that would be on this card. And this one will overlap the flowers a little bit, but that's okay. It goes nice over the Peekaboo Peach, and it doesn't compromise either the sentiment or the flower. And the last one we have here, let me line that up on my block. Oop. Uh-oh, I dropped it. Oh boy. Oh no, I don't know where it went. Well, guys, I'm going to have to do a thorough search for that. Let's just pretend that we stamped that one and move on. Okay. The next thing we'll do is we'll put our cards here that we stamped. We'll mount those on the Pear Pizzaz. And oh, I got ink on here. Let me get that off so we don't make a smudgy mess. I don't know how I got that Early Espresso ink on there. But let's put some Tombow on and mount them on our Wild Wasabi. Or not Wild Wasabi. Now I'm flustered. I lost my stamp. It's got to be here somewhere, right? Okay, and put that on our Pear Pizzaz. See, I got it right that time. And last one. And then I'll show you how to put these on the card. I should probably erase those X marks too, huh? Okay. I'll do that real quick. Oh, and there's more ink. Holy mackerel. Alright, so we're bringing our paper here that we've stamped, and we're going to start in the very inside. And that would be the one that we didn't get to stamp because I dropped the stamp on the floor. And we're going to put some Tombow on the back. And we're going to center that in the card. So you want the same amount of room from this side to this side, and then top to bottom it's centered also. Okay, so we've got that one in place. Now fold over one side of your card and we get our next one. That's the one that says, "To someone who makes others so happy." Ooh. And we'll put some Tombow on the back of that one. And then what we do is close that flap down and line that up directly over. Oh, this is not going to be good. Alright. You only want to put the Tombow on the half that's going to be on the card. Okay, so we'll put our Tombow on half of the card, or half of the panel that we're placing down. Holy mackerel, that was almost a disaster. And then we'll put that, we're going to line that up perfectly with the first one. And the side that has the Tombow, we'll press down. Okay, and then we close over the last panel of the card, or the last side of the card, and then our panel that will be on the very front is here. And we're going to put Tombow on the side that will be right here. So that will be on the left side. We just flip that over and put the Tombow on the left side. See, I learned my lesson. And we're going to put that down and we'll line that up with the last card, or the last panel. And there we go. So then we have happy birthday wishes to someone who makes others so happy, and nothing because I lost the stamp. I really need to find that because I like this stamp set. So if you've liked my video, then please hit the like button down below. It's down, let's see, down there. If you want to see more of my videos, then be sure to hit subscribe. If you'd like to shop with me, then you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. So, and as always, all the dimensions and materials I use will be down below. So if y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping. And I'm off to find that stamp.